You know what? We only have this day. I tend to look at life that this day is the only day I have. Tomorrow's not promised to any of us, right? But there is a gift in that. Tomorrow's not promised to us, so tomorrow doesn't count. Today does. But you know what that also means? Today is the day we can acquire what we need from the Lord. Amen. If he said tomorrow's promised to no man, right? Then whatever he has for us, he has for us right now, today, not tomorrow. And that's an awesome thought. And I live my life that way because I have to be careful not to get caught up in the many things that I know about, because even if I'm not careful, you can be lost in some of these things that you see and are exposed to. But I'm grateful because I have this day, and today is the only day that a person truly has. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow does not exist, which leaves today. Today is the only day we have. And if a person should pass today, Pastor Paul, then where they are right now is all they have. It's where they're going to be. It's how the Lord's going to look at them up until this point. But they have an opportunity to change everything today. Today. They can do that today.
Amen to that, Mike. I mean, truly, truly amen to that. Mike, we want to also, besides the coronavirus, we got to talk about incoming asteroids and debris fields. April 29th, NASA has now told us we definitely have a 144-foot wide asteroid that's going to enter into our Earth's orbit. It's making its way around the sun. It'll come around the sun at some point, and on April 29th, it will near miss the Earth. Now, they originally told us 3 months ago that it was going to miss us by 6 million miles, so I didn't even care about it. Now they've recalculated due to the speed of this asteroid and its debris field, it is scheduled to miss the Earth by only 584,000 miles. That is huge difference. So NASA's saying, look, we got a little warning here. I'm not going to say it's going to hit us, but then again, there's debris with it. So my question to you, you've been talking about May 12th as a telling date. You've been talking about the debris and fireballs, and that we're going to start seeing more and more of this. Is there any info here on this April 29th date, or besides that?
Clusters. We've got clusters inbound. I believe last two times we were talking speaking about clusters inbound. Clusters of debris, right? Which means now these clusters, they appear to be one big foggy object by optics in the distance when they're far away. As they get closer, each element in that cluster is defined as a bunch of rocks, right? This object that's coming in is from a cluster. Now, let me explain this. Meaning this rock coming in is part of a cluster. Right? That cluster is only one of many clusters.
Oh.
Okay, now you're starting to see it now, because this object is just a small element within a cluster, and there are lots of clusters headed here. Right here. They're headed here. They're not headed, out somewhere else. They're headed here.
Right here, you mean?
We're going to have to deal with some clusters.
Coming here, you mean headed toward Earth?
Here to this Earth. Yes, here to this Earth. We have clusters inbound. The distance, what they're doing is they're taking, per their array system, how they see space. They can see the smallest details in space, but they can only cover a certain percentage of the sky and focus on that point. Normally what happens is when they're focused on one point, they notice something at a different point, right? Now, if they did this all day, they would never have a report on anything. They would just be overwhelmed with information. So when they give you these objects, and they say, it's 6 million miles apart, right? People should take note that wait a minute, don't focus on the object so much, right? But focus, when they say that word debris, when they start changing trajectories, and they give some excuse for their calculations being off or so on and so forth, that means they're dealing with clusters. And so as they get closer, they can define each object in that cluster, giving some better data in there. We're dealing with clusters inbound I mean, many clusters inbound, and the frequency of these things is going to be such that they'll become they'll be worse than the coronavirus is now. You know how everybody fears the coronavirus? They didn't quite know how to react to it. We're going to have to entertain something similar to that with this inbound debris. We're going to have to deal with fires. We're going to have to deal with the idea that anything on Earth within a certain portion of the hemisphere can be hit. And these are going to be very uncomfortable days. Sure, we can get through them, but we're going to experience these things, clusters after cluster, you know. But they're on the way, and this is just one element out of a lot of those clusters coming.
How wide, Mike? How wide? People want to know on the chat room. How wide are these clusters? So you're saying, don't worry about this April 29th that much. Worry about the clusters that's going to hit us. How wide are these clusters?
Now, let me give you an idea, because these some of the objects are seen, like the April 29th being one speck of dust, right? Which is that's a nation killer. That one speck of dust, right, is within a cluster that is coming right through us. They don't know. I can tell you right now, April 29th, they do not know around that date if we're going to get slammed by something they can't see or not.
What?
There's debris around this thing. We could have a breach in the atmosphere. Anytime they start talking about something passing close, people should take note that when a rock is like that, in these days, it's not traveling by itself. It's traveling with debris around it. That debris could be from 1 mile, right, to 1 million miles. That's how far the debris can be. So this planet, this element is passing 600,000-700,000 miles away from the Earth, right? This that could be. Its debris can be 1 million miles out or dead center to Earth. So chances are, the closer it is like that, we're going to catch some sort of debris from this thing. We're going to have some effects from this thing. But that's not the only one. That's the only one being reported, but it's not the only one. And I'll say this, if something were going to impact Earth, there's no way they would tell anybody about it. They would divert and point your attention to something else, that you would look at something else while they prepared to protect themselves, to get themselves underground or in protected areas. They would not announce to the public that an asteroid is about to hit. That would be ludicrous. People can barely contain themselves with news of this virus. If they have to watch the language when they talk about the virus because of the fear factor involved. I mean, for crying out loud, everybody went out and bought up all the toilet paper when they heard about the coronavirus. What would they do if they found out about an impact?